doing?
Oh yeah,
No,
you've gotten it
it's
now.
Okay,
working
okay.
now. Yeah, it's
Got
okay
it.
now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Give me a second to orient myself.
So let's go to Idris. I don't that missed the last one. So I guess I'll start with you. You are going to fill in for your friend Oga Kwame. He's not making it. He told me he can't make it.
I would have loved to hear his take on that. I think the first topic.
Mm-hmm.
How
England being favorites.
How England are favorites. Man, I was mind blown.
So what are your thoughts? You think England are favorites now, Idris?
Yeah, begrudgingly, yes. I mean, if you look at how they made, honestly, when you look at their path to to the semifinals or finals, it's been easy. It's been an easy path. Let's be very honest. When you look at those coming from the group of death and how they've had to kill each other before they even got to this point, Spain having to survive Switzerland, Italy having to almost go down in flames with Belgium, and everybody's like, oh, they didn't play well against Belgium. Belgium's a very good team, they're favorites. So I'm not understanding why people are assuming they're just supposed to just beat the crap out of Belgium and roll them to die. But you know what? One thing though I just noticed yesterday was England hasn't considered a goal. Have they?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. That's correct.
And in the beginning of we were making fun of this guy in the group stage that he's the most negative human being ever when it comes to setting up two defensive double pivot and all that. And man, in the semi-final, they banked a lot of goals they've not considered. So another Ole situation is happening right here, man. It's like the guy's just finding himself in the right place. So I don't know, right? Okay. Who are they playing next? I heard they're playing Denmark next.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So look at that now. It would have been nice if they had met Spain or Italy so that we know what they're made of. But we're not going to know what they're made of till they get to the finals. And that's the part that's irritating for me. So
okay.
I still don't think you guys will manage.
You still don't think so? Okay. We've always moved to someone else. Yeah, you think you should. Okay. We'll move to someone else. But before we do that, welcome everyone. You guys are joining Fully Fantasy Pod, the Euro version. The final four. We'll be unpacking the final four teams left. Let me start. Ladies first. EJ made a special appearance after a while. We had to send out an SOS to get EJ.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for coming, EJ.
That was good. Thank you for having me. Good to be back.
Okay. Then we move to Idris. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me as usual.
Yeah, you missed the sweepstakes we did I guess the last two episodes. So yeah, for not coming, you missed out on the bracket for that one.
I know. I've been seeing a lot of 10 over 10s, 3 over 3.
Yeah. I'm going to show some people at the end of the pod. I have the table ready. Some people here are going to see. That's all I'm going to say. The Italian man, Itata, back again. Regular man. How you doing?
Yeah. Great, sir. Great. Ready for this.
Okay. Then Ola, back again. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Blue is the color.
No.
Blue is the color. Itata.
Okay.
Blue gang.
It's not red anymore. Yeah, all these Liverpool fans, no, they are not faithful. Now blue, okay. And the final, the Igwe Zebra, like we call him, the agenda man. Always running agendas. We have to unpack one of the agenda today. Daniel, let's enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, nice to be here as always.
Okay. Just keep your agenda rolling. So EJ, England. Let's talk about England. So for so long, right? Everybody, including is Jack Grealish and vibes. The man is a tailor. What he just said now, he had an easier group. So any praise for Southgate? Let's start with that.
Absolutely. I think you have to give him credit. He's taken this team, and you guys know, and I've been, even though I've not been on the podcast, I've been following the podcast, watching, hearing everything everyone that has come on has said. And so I know what was said. I know the expectation. I put out a bracket before the tournament began, and I said that England is going to the final. And I was murdered on Facebook. So much so that
that's our sound effect. Pause. Rewind that, man. Go to the finals of Boston. Finals, EJ, from the beginning, no?
Yes. I mean, I have evidence. I have a picture.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not disputing your greatness. I'm just like, if you're a gambling woman, I have to come and study you right now.
Of course. But they did that, and they made me even, I had to almost renounce my own bracket because of the negative comments, the backlash that was meted out against me for saying that England will get to the finals and predicting that they would beat Germany on the way, because the chips fell differently. But the only thing that I would say I said in that podcast, on my bracket, was that they would beat Germany on the way. I didn't see that happening, that Germany would beat them. So I think you have to give Southgate credit. You say that he feels negative. He lines up his team in the negative way, maybe defensively. To his approach is pretty defensive. It's getting the results. Like this, like what we don't. I think what we fail to give him credit for is that he's playing with a national team, that these people are individually, special in their clubs, and you bring them together, you expect them to be cohesive, and we don't always see that, but it's working. And so they've not conceded a goal. Which team has not conceded a goal in the tournament? None. So yeah, let's give him the credit, and that's what they will need to do to face a team like Italy, who I predict will be the team that beats them in the final. And that's what's going to happen. England, Tres Leones, are going to the finals, and they're going to win their first cup in 60-something years. If it's not 60, it's probably 60 years. It's since 1966. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's coming home. Number 1 in the blue shirt. I mean, Chelsea blue. It's going to happen. And in Italian blue. Yeah.
Hey, that is course though, but carry on.
I wish I wore a white shirt to represent England. No, I don't know. I didn't think they would win. I think I had France in the finals against them. I really felt that the only team they could beat was France. That would beat them would be France. And I was wrong about that. So I don't think there's any team left in the tournament that absolutely would just beat England the way they're playing right now. Yeah.
Okay. Before we start with somebody else to chime in, someone left a comment. Thanks for the comment. Hey everyone, hi guys. Idris and Daniel. Looks like both of you have people have the fan club. Apparently, the four of us like Hola, yeah. Let's talk about England. Who has been the most impressive English player for you, Danny? If you want to talk about Southgate too, that's fine. But I want to talk about like their players.
Yeah, I'll just quickly address the Southgate issue. Like you say, some people agenda must agenda.
Yes.
So, it's obvious. It's obvious. Southgate has always given off that vibe that okay, maybe he doesn't have the demeanor or personality, so people look down on him because of that. Because let's not forget, this guy got to the semi-final of the previous World Cup. Now he's in the semi-final of the Euros. 5 straight clean sheets. I think this is the first time ever they've gone 7 games without conceding a goal. And this is the first time ever any team has gone 5 games in the Euros without conceding a goal. And they've gotten to the semi-finals. This is Southgate. People are telling me about luck. Germany are like 3-time champions. Germany were world champions. Germany are not beans. Because England beat them, that doesn't mean that England got lucky that they met Germany on the way. If you know how Germany has dealt with England over the years, you know that was a big achievement for England to knock them out. That was the first time they've knocked Germany out in the knockout stage since 1966 in a knockout game. So that was a big deal for them. Okay, you might say their group was easy, but they still had to grind it out. They had to top that group. It's not. Italy also had an easy group. Why is nobody saying Italy in the semifinals they had an easy group? You can't just discredit Southgate. And I'm not saying Southgate is a top manager. I'm just saying he deserves credit, like EJ says. Southgate people say it's defensive football. I don't know. I just feel football of all kinds is allowed in tournaments, especially in tournaments. You're allowed to be cautious, especially in the first few stages, the first few games. You're allowed to be cautious because all you need are the points to get through to the knockout stages. Nobody gives you the trophy for beating everybody 3-0, 3-0 in the group stages. Nobody is going to dash you a trophy for that. I like how he has gone about it. He has been cautious, and now they are gaining momentum. That's how you win tournaments. Now, I don't want them to win it, but that's how you win it. You start cautious. You don't go and blaze and just waste all your bullets in the beginning. You go cautiously, and then build momentum. And one funny thing, I read one article and they were like, "Oh, Europe, beware, Harry Kane." When he scored in their last match, not this one, the one where like when Harry Kane breaks his goal drought, Harry Kane goes on a roll. It was on the Athletic, and I think they had the statistics to back it up. And that's Harry Kane for you. I wouldn't be surprised if Harry Kane bangs in another 2 goals in their next game. When he breaks his goal drought, the guy just bang, bang, bang goes. So, in answer to your question, I think Southgate deserves praise. And England's player of the tournament, Jordan Henderson. Fantastic header yesterday.
Look at this guy.
Jordan Henderson. Hello, Roy Keane. Roy Keane with your big mouth, telling them, why are you taking Henderson to the Euros? Roy Keane, thumbs up. I hope you saw that fantastic goal yesterday.
Oh my God.
Shouting that what's Henderson going to do? Is he going to be clapping for them? Is he going to be singing for them? That was a fantastic header yesterday. So Jordan Henderson, big up. But no, to be serious, the player of the tournament for me is Raheem Sterling. 3 goals and assists. He has been consistent all through. Kane is coming to the party now, but the party won't have gotten this far if not for Raheem Sterling. So don't say
that to the British media, because right now it's all Harry Kane.
Right? We know how they roll now. We know how they roll. So let's leave that one. We know how they roll.
Okay. We move on to let's do the agenda man. I'll end with that. Let's do the agenda man. Daniel.
Agenda.
Southgate.
I mean, I've heard everything everyone has to say about Southgate, and I've had my own thoughts. I'll give him credit for, first of all, the setup against Ukraine. Like, I mean, no disrespect to Ukraine, but like, it's Ukraine. Shevchenko himself said, if anything after the group stages is a bonus. So, I mean, big ups to Southgate for, going all out. In terms of, and then he brought my boy on. He started Jadon Sancho. So who had a very good game as well.
The real star boy.
Huh?
I said the real star boy.
Yeah. The best winger in the world. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a great game, but let's leave that, Sha. I don't think he had a great game.
We can get into all the analysis later. But now, on a serious note, like obviously when you look back at the record of not conceding and all that, it's definitely something. So big ups to him. And one thing, because I grouped Southgate with Deschamps and Santos in the category of managers who have like really, really talented players, but don't necessarily know how to set up or know their best teams. And there was a point, I think it was Yemi who made the point earlier on, that the difference between him and the rest of these guys is the fact that he has been able to spot his mistakes. Like, I still don't think, going into this Euros, I still don't think, like he knew what his best team was, or, but over, like Ola said, like over the course of the games, he's been able to adjust. And props to them. With regards to new opponent, like I'm holding off on giving him praise and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, it is still a fact that these guys haven't met a quote unquote a serious team, and I want to see how it would be nice to see them in the final, maybe against Spain or Italy, but Denmark is not a joke, because they play really good football. They're not scared. if they concede, they come right back at you, that type of thing. And the point still holds for, I think someone mentioned in the last part as well. The real strength of England would be seen when they go a goal down, because that hasn't happened yet, and we don't know how they're going to respond. But all in all, like, to get to this point, there's no ordinary feat. So yeah, I'd give him credit on that. But I'd say, I'm still, about him.
Okay. Itata, is Southgate still, like your brother said, is he still a tailor? That just wears waistcoat? According to your brother, Oga Kwame, who decided to run away.
Well, I think it would be criminal not to give Gareth Northgate his credit. I call him Northgate because everything is going north now, not south. So I think he deserves his credit. But I personally think it was a case of the first game. So he tried a formula that worked and he's stuck to it. I'm waiting to see the plan B. There is no plan B yet. At least there is no need to use the plan B yet. I wouldn't necessarily say Southgate is a great coach, but he deserves his credit at this time. That's where I stand. Everything he's doing is great, and it's you can't push over the fact that he's gone this far in a tournament and not concede a goal. That's huge. Only the Italians do something like that. I'm sort of jealous because I would love to have that for the Italians. But it's a great achievement. I'm still waiting, though. This is just personal stuff. I'm still waiting to see Southgate play Grealish on the left, Kane as a center forward, Sancho on the right hand side. Just play it for once. Because what?
I said, let them cook.
Yeah, these guys actually went to the store and bought pots, especially Grealish and Sancho. They have pots, they can bring it to the games and cook people up, So just try it and see. He's very defensive, but it works, I still am hanging on that it's not sustainable. So let's see. Denmark is a great test for this guy. So let's see what happens. But as for the credit, he gets it.
Yeah. So just end on England before we move on. In my opinion, I've always thought that apart from the Scotland game, that's the time I gave him criticism. But every time I've watched him during this tournament, I've been watching the fact that the defensive organization is very, very impressive, right? And I've been paying close attention to why he's playing Sterling, or initially when I was playing Saka, the inverted winger thing. The pressing is very critical to the way he plays. Apart from those two double pivots, he's playing that because he needs to push at this one. Either Shaw goes up sometimes, or Walker or Trippier. So it's very critical for his defensive pressing for those guys to be there. And it is not a coincidence that now that he has gone to Sancho, Mount is back in the team. Because if he was going to play anybody else, Sancho would have started. He would go to either Saka on that wing or like Foden. It's because of the pressing. He's using and I think I said on the last podcast, the short blanket theory, which is he has a very good team, and it's like, I have a short blanket. What am I going to do? Am I going to leave my feet cold or my head cold? The forward line, the attack line is superb for England. That's where most of their best players are. Defense is where the shaky problem is. Stones, Maguire are good, but they're both slow. They're very slow center backs. In transition, they'll get killed. He knows that. So that's why he's covering his leg, using the short blankets. Okay. Going forward, I have so much talent that they'll figure it out. But defensively, I'm going to cover and have a good pressing defensive organization to protect that center defense, because I don't want to get hit on transition too much. It might happen once or twice, but no, I need pace and people to prevent that from consistent. Because if that happens consistently, it's tournament football. Like you guys say, concede 1 goal, 2 goals, to come back into it, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So that's what he's doing. And for me, because of that, he deserves a lot of praise, because we're seeing France couldn't successfully pull it off. Like better, you can call them better international coaches, right? They've won. Deschamps has won World Cup. The Portugal manager has won Euros. But they could not pull it off. He's been able to pull it off, with players that, like you said, not even know his first 11. Those other 2 guys, you can say they even have a structured first 11 that you can always go to. He didn't know coming to this tournament. And the other part is like Croatia. I always go back. Croatia and Germany, that debate. There are no mugs. Those two teams, they are midfield, especially Croatia. You could see them against Spain. They scored 3 goals. Those two teams, if you do not respect them, they will destroy you. And we saw it. They almost destroyed Spain. So that was no easy feat. Same with Germany. We saw Germany destroy Portugal. You know, they took Portugal to the cleaners. So I think those are very difficult teams to beat, in my opinion. Now I agree the Denmark test will be the final one. If they pass the Denmark test, they can win it all. Although I'm still backing the Italians, in my opinion, but I think they can win it all. So talking about the Italians, let's segue. We'll stay with that. The Italian job. Do you think the Italian job is going to be completed?
I would hope so, and my only concern is I think Spain are no pushovers, and in the game of football, when you can keep the ball, you can do anything with it. The problem is getting the ball off of Spain. You know, if Spain end up having 70% of the possession, you have to be extremely clinical. The Italians are not clinical per se. They have a structure they're playing good football. It's weird because I'm not used to seeing Italy like this. You know, Italy usually go into the tournament, you know, backs to the wall, spears out, shield. They're ready to defend Rome. That's how they play. You know, but this possessional football, it's kind of strange. So I don't know. I just hope they go back to the old ways against Spain. I think that's the only way if they go out to play Spain punch for punch, they're going to lose the game. So I don't think it's quite complete. And even when they get to the final, England is a tricky one. And then Denmark, of course, we all know what's going on. It's like I think they're determined to give Eriksen this trophy. That's how I look at it. They're playing. I've never seen them play like this, but they're a very good footballing side. So Italian job done. No, are they capable of winning it? Yes.
Okay, Idris, what are your thoughts about the Italians so far? I try to think of Mancini and how, like Tata said, they're playing really. When I watch them, they're playing really, really good. This is like un-Italian, if you may say, type of when I'm watching them. Like, this is Italy. Like, damn, look how these guys are moving the ball through the lines, you know, breaking, pressing, you know. So talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Well, this is Mancini's team, though, right? This is Mancini. This is the school of thought. This school of thought of Italian managers. You will see the likes of Ancelotti in the school, like expansive football. That is very contrary to the Italian way of doing things, which is, as Tata said, protect Rome at all cost and spare in every opening, right? But like, it's Mancini. Mancini plays expansive and beautiful football. What I'm refusing to swallow my lump on is how good Jorginho is playing in this competition.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm not going to allow you to use it on me, so I'll quickly just put that to the side way. But is the pivot with Jorginho has matured over the years. I mean, Sarri introduced everybody to it, but with Verratti in the team and the way Italy actually moves and their one-time decision-making on the wing when the ball comes to Jorginho, finding that pass behind the run. I fear Italy might struggle against England because England also has a very they potentially know how to soak in pressure. I mean, we saw that when they played against Germany. Germany. There was no room for Werner to run because the whole context was every time you want to play the likes of Werner, you need space behind and just keep the pressure going. There was no grass for him to pick off, right? England will adjust. So will Jorginho be more effective? Potentially, maybe, because he will still be able to redistribute the ball. And that's where Insigne and the rest of the great guys that are coming through the middle will come in. I honestly, I don't want to jinx Italy, but I see them more as favorites. But when you look at Spain on the other hand too, and how, we cannot write off Spain. You know what I mean? We cannot write off Spain. Yeah. They go guns blazing. They're like watching them is like watching a Lampard team that just forward ever, no sense at the back. Like, it's just constantly going. But the thing is, they have an experienced coach that can really adapt. Like, so whoever comes out of that group, I mean, that's that matchup to face If it's England, I do not believe England will be able to overcome those, except they come out with massive injuries. You understand what I'm saying? But because the game is going to be very tactical, it's going to be a lot of like, is it just pace, attacking? It's not going to be. It might even end up being a boring game. You know what I mean? Like both of them want to hold possession, both of them want to be tactical, they want to cancel each other out. The England and the Danes, though, will be a very different thing entirely. I am even worried for England. They can concede. You know what I mean? They can concede in that game, and it could become a problem if they concede first. You get so, but like if they get the Danes, remember my prediction: one small team will find their way there. It looks like it's Danes. If the Danes make it to the finals, I'm worried we're seeing another Greece again. Like that, like it's just kind of like the stars are aligned, just like when Chelsea was going to win. Everything just looked like it was going to happen, and here we are again, right? If England makes it to the final, I'm sorry to say they're just born cursed with this thing. It's not coming home. It's stopping at the parking lot.
Stopping at the parking lot. It's coming room. You know, like Daniel said, it's coming room. Before we go, Onome has joined us. Onome, thanks for joining us. It's been a long time. It's probably been like a couple of years now. How you doing, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Good to know. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late.
That's
Samuel's
fine.
best friend. Welcome aboard.
I just have to say something though. Why do everyone think the Danes are a small team? That's a massive misconception. They're not a small team.
You took the words from my mouth. I was just waiting for Idris to finish. Danes are former European champions. England have not won this competition. Denmark have won this competition. And you're calling Denmark small team.
They're a small team.
Well,
If you look at their
when
starting
did they win it
11,
last?
1992.
They've won it. England have never won it.
Okay, well,
it's almost like Aston. It's almost like Aston Villa and Arsenal when it comes to you know.
I got my sound. I got my sound effects.
I'm looking for AJ's. I'm looking for AJ's problem. I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh man, you just EJ and Onome just walked into that, like walked into the place. Bang, bang, bang.
Yes, EJ, right now.
Okay, so let's move to EJ. EJ, the Italians. Which player? I know the player. I'm going to say the player that's impressed me the most. Obviously, is the guy who got injured in their team, because that's the one for me that's kind of been an unknown quantity. The rest of them, but the Italian team, which player has impressed you the most so far?
I honestly haven't watched their games too closely, so I wouldn't say any player stands out to me. But I still think, just because of work and everything, it's hard to watch the games completely. Yeah. But I still think they're the team to beat. I think they have it in their hands to win the championship. If they lose, then they should feel like the most slighted team that should have won the tournament. But yeah, I'll throw that question to someone else because I can't pick a player like that stood out to me.
Okay, I'll just throw it straight to Ola.
1 minute. I would say the most exciting for the Italians is Spinazzola. The most important player, however, is Chiellini.
Oh wow.
That's it.
Okay. Ola, do you agree or any different thoughts?
Oh yeah, well, Chiellini for sure is very important for them. For me, the Italians, I probably disagree. Okay, let me go with the player first. Let me answer that first. The player for me, one of their midfielders, it's Barella. I think his name is Barella. He plays in the midfield. Barella. I've seen some of their games, and I've seen the work that guy does. It's very impressive. It's like a link between the midfield and attack. He joins in. So there's also one article I read, and you see the system. That's why Italy, their game is a system. when we praise some managers and say, oh, these people are inshallah and those ones have a system. The Italian game, tournament is like a system. Barella, the way they play, they wait for Barella to join up into the attack to make like a 5-man attack. That's why they're attacking the space so is very effective and so difficult to stop, because by the time they are wing backs, I call them wing backs. Like Spinazzola has basically been a wing back. He plays at left back, but that guy stays in the opposing half, like more than half of the game. So he takes the ball. They plan it in such a way that Ian and Insigne, they interact, and then they wait for Barella to join in. He comes in from midfield and joins in. And there are many clips of this happening. And Barella has been very effective for them in that way. So Chiellini for sure at the back. Chiellini is the leader. He's the one. I think he missed the game. Maybe he was injured, but
yeah,
it's still the Baba. It's the man holding it all together at the back. Where I would disagree a bit with some people saying that, okay, maybe they should be a bit cautious against Spain. No, don't change your game. Don't change your game. What has gotten them this far is attacking football. This is not the time for you to now go back to the Italian former way of playing. Continue playing this way. Continue playing your attacking football. Go toe-to-toe if you need to. Back yourselves against Spain. Don't go and say, oh, because Spain can hold the ball, let us sit back and let Spain hold the ball. No, go in their face, counter press. Italians have been very good at counter pressing. Counter press Spain, play your game that has gotten you this far. Don't sit back. Don't go and start doing the former things that you think, okay, we'll do. This is the best time to go on the front foot. Go on the front foot. And I think it will be Spain if you go on the front foot. Spain, like Idris said, they are playing like Lampard football. It's just all out attack at the front, no sense at the back. Their defense is shambles at the back. So Italians should not sit back. The Italians should exploit that senselessness. The senselessness Spain has at the back. The Italians have to exploit it, no sitting back. So for me, if they do that, they get to the final. And for me, they're still the favorites. The big miss, like Ayo said, is that Spinazzola. That guy has been fantastic. He has been fantastic in this tournament. If he wasn't injured, for me, he would have been player of the tournament. He has been incredible. You know, the way he just plays that position perfectly. But unfortunately, that injury. So it's going to be Emerson. Idris, I'm sure you know boy Emerson.
It's a direct
Emerson. Tell us about Emerson. What does Emerson bring you to this Italian team?
It's a direct swap with Spinazzola. Like if we didn't buy Chilwell, he was already building himself into a situation where he could be suspect defensively. But if what the tactics of Mancini is as were you the one was saying it, or was it after that was saying that it's already 80% of the game is already is supposed to already be in the opposing half? Then Emerson, in fact, Emerson scores goals, so that's a problem. You understand, for the opposing team in this case. So I mean, Italy, man, is just stacked. I'm looking at their team: Barella, Verratti, Jorginho, Chiellini, Bonucci. Like, I mean, Insigne, Immobile, and I mean, if they do what Ola is saying.
I have thoughts on that attack, bro.
Yeah. So I was going to let's like Daniel. So I guess the question, because you have, but the question I wanted to throw, and anybody else can talk about that: should Italy have been a dark horse at all? Because I was going through their team squad, like everybody's saying. This team has a very talent for talent. This team, talent for talent, is one of the best teams. So what are your thoughts about what you want to say then? If you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So I think Italy Spain is going to be interesting for sure, because, and mine is just because of, I'd say, for lack of a better word, I'd say the inconsistency of the attack. Spain is tricky because, like, you really don't know where their goals are going to come from. That's the truth. Like, you really do not know. Like, and you have two teams where, like, I was saying earlier yesterday, like, this has been like the tournament of the fullback and wing backs, like Jordi Alba, Gaia, like all these guys bombing forward, Spinazzola, Luke Shaw, and all that. So, like, it's weird because, okay, with Spain, it's like, is Morata going to turn up today? Sarabia going to turn up today? Or not? And then Italy, like, they're creating chances, but, like, these guys are not Insigne will have, like, a terrible, not necessarily terrible, like, he's quiet all game and then, no threats, and then all of a sudden he scores a world. Immobile, like, his movement is good, and then, he's flopping all over the place, and then all of a sudden, like, this guy smashes a shot against the crossbar. Like, so it's weird, and, like, with Mancini, I know how we talk about, like, oh yeah, he's a system, he has a system, and it's just like, a straight swap, but you cannot. I'd say it would be unfair to take out that particular player element. That Spinazzola miss is huge.
It's huge.
It's really, I think it's bigger than people realize. Like, yeah, this guy, Emerson or whoever is going to come in, but like that impact, that level of impact from it's going to be very hard to replicate. Yeah, and then as for the question about like Italy being dark, you said they should they have been dark horses or should they not?
There's some point calling them dark horses at some point. Like what? Yeah, Italy's not a dark horse.
I feel like it's because like they went about their thing quietly. They went about their thing quietly, right? A lot of Euro propaganda, or should I say Euro news or whatever, is covered by British media, which is what we're being fed. And there's not much buzz about like the Italian players in the Premier League. Jorginho gets slandered every now and then. So like, it's like no one really,
by some people,
no one's really rating them, right? They just went about their thing quietly, and it's interesting because like that's one thing Italy and Spain have done this year. It's if you look back at like all the teams, like historically, all the national teams, you have like core, like Italy, okay, you have the core, it's Inter and AC Milan, you look back at Spain teams, you have the core, Barcelona, Real. This whole mix, this whole blend, like, as people are saying, Mancini is doing something that's, un-Italian in terms of his setup. Like, Lucho is also doing something that's very, very un-Spanish-like, which is, like, getting people from everywhere. And it's really interesting because now you find, with Mancini, for instance, I think they said he had the most caps. That's like he was just at the point in time, like he was just giving out caps to people, like literally opened the playing field. Like, okay, if you can play, come and try out. So like literally, like if you had like an Italian, passport was Italian or you had Italian nationality, you had a shot. And from there, he picked his pool. So in terms of them being dark horses, like I would see why people didn't really pay attention to them because, like, as they went about their thing quietly, it was like, kind of like like a general scouting process. There was no like look at Atlanta players like doing big things. Like they have been coming to the fold in recent years, like the Champions League, and Champions League exploits, and even like how attacking they can be. And he's picking from from that. And then last word on Spinazzola. I don't know if this might be a messed up thing to say, but like if that time that he's out gives him, because he's a Roma player, right? That time that he's out gives Mourinho less time to ruin him. So we should embrace that, in my opinion.
Kai, you have to go there.
Let's go to Olame to give us Olame, what are your final thoughts? I don't know for
I was going to say that I don't think Italy is a one-man team. Of course, Bonucci and Chiellini are important, but I've watched them from the beginning, from their first game they played against Turkey till now. I've watched every game in the Euro. So I think their biggest asset is their midfield. I didn't rate Jorginho before. I just went with Idris and like it's crap. Kante doesn't work. But when I watched Jorginho in Italy, my God, I was super impressed.
Oh no, man!
Kante hype, yeah.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Kante is there, but Jorginho, my God.
I think he has a hype club. Where's anybody besides Kante? Sure, that's how it works. Yeah, Kante makes Pogba better. Sure. Why do you
my agenda will agenda after this you are coming back.
Make Bakayoko better. Sure, Kante. Why did you not make? I can go on and on of Chelsea players last 3-4 years that have done nothing. Kante high club.
My agenda will still agenda.
But generally, if you look at your midfield, like Ola said, Barella, Verratti, and Jorginho, they are very impressive. They have very good wing backs, like everyone has mentioned, and then their attackers, they play very narrow, so the wing backs can fire forward. So they occupy the three forwards, they occupy the centre backs, and then the midfielder overloads, the right wing backs overloads on the flank. So, and then the midfield just basically just rotates the ball from one end to the other. So I think the midfield is the biggest asset. If you notice, Chiellini hasn't played until the Belgium game, right? Yeah. So against Wales, it was as if nothing was happening at the back. Against Austria, they were very decent defensively. So I don't think their biggest miss would be Chiellini or Spinazzola. I think Emerson will be fine because they are a well-oiled machine. But the game against Spain is very tricky. You can say Spain looks very lukewarm and just pass the ball around and very dull, but they are also very exciting and you cannot write them off. Actually, I feel like this would be the biggest. I didn't really rate Belgium. I didn't really think they'll do anything. They felt like they're always waiting for De Bruyne and Lukaku to do something. They never had impetus to take the game at the scruff of the neck and then lead and hold the ball the way the Italians play. So I didn't really rate Belgium, which is unfortunate. I really like De Bruyne. I wanted him to win something. But I think Spain is very good, especially in the midfield. That Pedri guy, I was on Enrique's throat why he wasn't playing Thiago. But my God, Pedri is a baller. He plays very well. And Busquets is also very good. So I think it will be a very, very interesting game. Do I still back the Italians though? Because they are very energetic and they play more to get the job done rather than just passing for passing's sake. So they're very direct, and I think I probably 60-40 Italians, but don't write Spanish off. That'll be my last word.
Real quick.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What?
The dark horse thing, I didn't realize because before the tournament, I made my bracket up. I didn't realize that the Italian team was even a favorite on any level until I put the bracket on. Everyone on my status was telling me that the majority of the people were for the Italians winning everything. So I do think that there were people that weren't necessarily calling them dark horses that had them pegged as their favorites to begin with. The Spanish team now, I mean, the game against Switzerland, and I think Switzerland, they're outside their minds. It was a really good game. You know, they played their hearts out. But the Spanish team couldn't really break them. They didn't score their own goal. And Morata leading that line, I don't know. I just don't trust him. So that's why I write them out completely. I think Italians will get through them. Maybe not as easily as I'm making it sound, but I think it will. I think they're in the finals. I think they punched their way.
Three Guinness bottle for you for mentioning Morata as a problem.
But you know, Morata's like me. Morata's still my guy.
I keep saying Lucho should get credit because he's gone this entire tournament playing with 10 men.
Yeah.
but he's very unpredictable, which is something that you would dread as a defender because you can go from the ridiculous to the sublime in 1 minute. So
he'll never finish anything off. That guy.
That guy.
I actually call him Alvaro Werner. That's his name.
What a player that is.
Chelsea is notoriously known for harvesting very shitty strikers. How? I don't know. Why? I don't know. The Blancos come to Chelsea, create a new life for themselves, and this is what we get.
That your number 9 jersey is cursed.
Actually, Tammy Abraham is the one wearing it, and I think he's broken the curse because he scored more goals than any number 9 since Hasselbank. It's just whoever we spend money on, that's supposed to be a striker, is cursed in Chelsea. So if I were any striker coming to Chelsea, I'll come as a free agent. So
okay, this is a good segue to Spain, and I'll start from Spain. Because I'm saying my question is Spain being overlooked, and we've kind of touched about it, but I wanted to go in depth, and I'll start with my man Pedri. I think I said it on the last one. I'm going to say this again. I think Pedri is going to be the second coming of Andres Iniesta. Okay, it's not going to be as good as Iniesta before I get clipped and people come for me, but that guy is incredible. Like Onome said, I was watching him. I saw some of the Spanish League games, especially towards the end when Koeman just said, okay, whatever, I'm just going to trust the kids and started playing him. And I've been watching that kid. The way that guy invites pressure. Because midfield, I think, in modern football now, it's almost like an art, for people like, that have the talent of Pedri, where he invites pressure purposely. And when the pressure is coming, you see him break the pressure, make the right pass, move within pressure. And those things for a 19-year-old, I think he's 19 or 20. You can't teach those things. Like, you know,
18.
this is not like
18.
18.
It's
18.
18.
Okay, exactly. You can't teach those things.
player at the Euros.
Yeah, you can't teach those things. The ability to invite pressure, driving through pressure, making the right pass, reading space at 18. I'm like, whoa. This is Barcelona people. Where did they see people like this? You know, because you're seeing all of this, and you know, then I think of like Manchester United's midfield, and I was like, oh Lord. I'm seeing like this guy. Look at what this guy is already understanding. You know, Mark Mayonnaise and Fred. When I see them, the McFred Insurance Company, I'm like, I don't see like, yeah, it's an insurance company. Yeah, we're trying to dissolve it, but it keeps staying there. Like we want to dissolve the insurance company. We're tired. And so Pedri, for me, like I said, he's the star. I guess the young star of this tournament, in my opinion. And I think Spain is getting slightly overlooked. You know, I know in this panel we've kind of highlighted the fact that they're dangerous, but like just every year when I keep seeing, like Spain is getting overlooked because of the fact that they can keep the ball, and like I think it was Daniel that said you don't know who's going to score. Like Torres can score, Moreno can score. You know, the guy that scored the last penalty, or I cannot pronounce his name, or Oyazbal, something like that. He can score, and it looks like Enrique is managing his subs well for the most part. You know, he brings them on, changes the game. You know, and Morata, who, you know, like it or not, he's not a great finisher, but he's a scorer of great goals, like they say that term. So he could be ridiculous and just score like smack one volley in, you know, into the bottom corner. So I think they're getting slightly overlooked, although I still think they will lose to the Italians, because the Italians are like the master of dark arts, and that I think we'll probably see them over the line. I guess we could move to.
Can I add something there?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll move to you.
Yeah, Pedri, and the likes of Jorginho, Verratti, Busquets. Do you guys notice something about those characteristics of players in this tournament? Like the Jorginhos, the Verrattis, the Pedris, they are very good in tight spaces. So their whole work is to just distribute. We're in a new modern era of football where the midfield's job is not just to they high press, they don't win balls. As much as everybody's saying Jorginho is amazing winning tackles, go and watch how Jorginho is becoming more efficient. Jorginho evolving in Chelsea from Lampard to Tuchel is a completely different Jorginho under Sarri, and even in Napoli. If you look at in Napoli, we talked about the two people be seeing like Hamsik and Koda were doing all the work for him. He was just distributing the Andre Pirlo version of playing the register. Now you're having guys like Pedri, as Ayo was saying, that they would actually wait for you to come. And people now, like Kovacic, they will invite that press, but what people are not queuing into yet is once you invite the press, you become a short one, because that's what they need you to do. It's like, you know, like they want you to come. Once you come, they will roll over you. And that's what Hazard has been using to chop money in Chelsea with his bomb. Everybody keeps talking about that bomb thing. But when you look at this player,
bombs matter, man. Big bombs matter for soccer players.
You see that?
No, but it's true, because even when I bash Jorginho, and I have to dial back a lot of times, it's looking at the characteristic of that player. Because we look at Thiago, like he does this, he does that, energetic, he goes box to box, can't do that. But these guys are completely a different kind of breed, that if they fall into the wrong coach's hands, we're not going to see these things that we're seeing. You know what we're saying? Under Lampard, if you run at Jorginho, the entire game plan has fallen apart.
And that's a yellow card.
You talk. Like so, but now here we are in a situation now where a yellow card if he draws fouls, right? That you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. But if you actually attack Jorginho, like two midfielders are dedicated to attacking the Jorginhos, the Verrattis, even Pedri, they're liability if the others don't do their work together. So the right coaches somehow have had these players and they're able to distribute, as we're talking about, right? And I want us to appreciate what we are seeing, is what I'm trying to say. They're very unique kind of talent, and in the wrong hands, we're not going to appreciate what we are seeing, to be honest.
This is why we actually need coaches that actually coach. Yeah. Actually, not the Inshallah tactics people, like this Belgium coach. I hope you've added him to your project. That Belgium course has been stealing a living for ages. That guy, Roberto Martinez. My God.
Martinez.
Anyway, I agree with you. If Pedri is another kind of is being coached by someone else, maybe like I don't know. I won't mention names, but you will say, oh, this is a bad player. Or I actually used to be on Jorginho's scale, like it's crap, forget about him. But when I watched him in the Euros, I was so impressed. Him and Verratti, the midfield entirely has been so good. But then again, you say that if you attack Jorginho, then it will probably be a liability. But a good coach will not let you do that. It will play in such a way that those your two midfielders will just be running. They'll run rings around those two midfielders.
Exactly.
That is exactly what Italy has done in this tournament.
Exactly.
So
That's
yeah,
exactly
that's just what I wanted to add.
doing
Yeah.
also. That's exactly how
Exactly,
Tuchel is. I mean, the elite, I always say this, like the elite managers, well, not it's common knowledge. Like the elite managers, the one major thing that they do, they hide the weaknesses of their players. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Every time you hide the weaknesses, like when you look at every team, right? Literally, if all the elite teams that won big trophies in the last 2-3 years in club football, right? If you switch any of them out to like just a regular manager, that team looks totally different. I guarantee you, like Liverpool, Man City, like even Chelsea, if any other person comes, we don't even need, we saw half of the season how Chelsea looked. And when a manager who had a way better plan, I was hiding the weaknesses, they look totally different. So, that's my opinion.
Look at David Luiz the season they won it with Conte, and the following season. Like,
Correct.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe in you. It's the same guy. So yeah, that's a very good point.
So many times.
TJ, when we will get another head coach in Arsenal? When we will get another head coach in
2 more
Arsenal?
years.
Arsenal therapy. Oh yeah, go for it.
We have to wait. We have to wait and see what happens.
Wait, I don't understand. Wait and see, EJ. Okay, let's not go to
We want to see
Arsenal.
wait and see. What is there to see?
Yeah,
We've seen everything now.
What can we do? We thought he was going to be fired. He didn't get fired. What do you want to do? I don't care. Let them watch him.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion regarding Spain. I don't rate Luis Enrique. I think he's an initial laugh manager. I don't know why you guys are giving him any praise. They look chaotic to me. They don't look like they have a system. They don't look like they have gotten this far based on good attacking players being able to dig it out of the fire. Not because of anything he has done. Pedri is a fantastic talent, but not because of Luis Enrique. That guy is as bad as Roberto Martinez, in my opinion. Yes. In the national team, I'm not talking about club level. I'm talking about national team. National team.
Okay.
In this Spain team, they have been chaotic. I've not seen what are they playing? What are Spain playing? They don't have any distinct style. At the beginning, they were trying their tiki-taka. They were playing slow possession football. It didn't work. Now they're speeding it up. And they've gone chaotic. They're conceding goals left, right, and center. They scraped through against Switzerland that played 10 men for over 45 minutes. They just scraped through by penalty shootout. What is Luis Enrique getting credit for? For me, I'm not having him. I'm not having him at all.
I see some dissenters. I'm going to add something to that. Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think even if France, as woeful as France was not that woeful, but obviously I pulled France out of whatever tie. I brought them out. I did have France beating Spain. I thought they were going to kill Spain get Spain out. I didn't think Spain was going to get through to the semis. And this is their Cinderella ride. They're going home. Like, no, they're not winning. They're not being overlooked. They've gotten as far as they will go. They're not going any further. And for him, Luis Enrique not taking any Real Madrid. What was that about? Like, what's that hatred? No, and he's no better than that. Look at him. Nah.
But was this not the same kind of football he played in Barcelona though? Like Barcelona's, even Pep has perfected what he's doing in City, maybe because of grinding it out Premier League managers. But it's always expansive, forward attacking though. I don't see anything different that he did in the club as a manager versus the country. Right?
But good point. Major difference is in my opinion, club football and international football is totally different. It's so totally different. Because I think club football is always about, okay, this is what I want to do, this I want to implement and buy the players or like try to fit some people into it. International football is strictly about you have to deal with the hands you're dealt, right? Like this is what you can't change it. You can't say, okay, I don't want Jorginho again. I need to buy. No, you're not buying anybody, bro. This is your team. Like this is what we have available. Like so you have to work with what you have. And I don't think he's doing a great job. I agree in working with what he has. Because I was watching in the last game, I was like, ooh, two left-sided center back. Like, what's going on here? And you could see the awkwardness.
That was like, crazy.
There was no balance. You said
no
what?
balance, no structure, no balance.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Can I?
That it was all.
Okay, so can I
go ahead, Daniel.
Like in his defense? So like the whole, how I compared the like the selection process with how like Mancini is doing his. I think Spain is kind of like suffering from that over concentration. Like if you look back over the years, Real and Barca, like they've had a core team, that has literally aged over the years. And right now, like the reason Barca and Real were having a struggle is because they never prepared for that transition, right? Like the old players got old, and then that was it. And then you're playing some, you're seeing some weird faces. So to your point, he is working with what he has. Because they weren't able to make that transition into like finding who are going to be like their next corp. Like come on, like Busquets still trying to hold it down. I mean he's great and all, but like when you see like how far he's come and like the people that he's played with and stuff like that, like there hasn't been a smooth transition. Like Barca and Real suffer, like they are literally suffering in that regard. So he's working with what he has, and
it could also be those core players you mentioned were extraordinarily too good that the drop off to the next talent comes So I don't know.
Yeah. And then when you consider, I'd say someone like Fati would probably have been his what's it called, his secret weapon. And
I beg, but he already has Morata missing goals. He doesn't need another child missing goals.
No, come on. Great answer. But it's one of the he is working what he has, because which serious manager is taking Morata as your starting striker?
That's one of the ways that I agree with Ola, because this guy from Villarreal, Gerard, is it Moreno or he scored 30 goals. He's not even getting a start. That's one of the reasons I
even Aspas, he left Aspas at home. Like I think that one
exactly.
So his selection,
the selections was really questionable.
Really weird.
Yeah, so Gerard Moreno was deadly for this season at least, if I remember correctly.
Do you know what happened, Onome? Do you know what happened? Moreno, when he now brought Moreno on their previous game, he took Morata, brought Moreno, and put Moreno on the wing. Put him on the right wing. The person who scored over 30 goals, you're now playing him on the wing. And then people want to tell me Enrique is smart. What kind of stupidity is that one? You have a striker and you're putting him on the wing. You took out Morata. Okay, finally got sense. You took out Morata. Morata was playing rubbish. You took him out, and then you now brought in the striker who can score goals. You now started playing him on the right wing. What kind of stupidity is that one?
Life now.
I'm not being Enrique. It goes down to moments, right? It's the same reason. Lowe started Werner, because it comes down to moments, and you feel like you're setting this player up for a chance to rewrite the script. But
how many opportunities
you're setting them up for more failure. So
exactly, like change what? How many chances? You see any. Anyway, let me not go into that, because I feel about Morata and Werner.
I was just going to end and say, I was going to end and say, we need to do we probably have to do investigation into like a lot of managers that rode on the MSN Barcelona wave for I think they were all together for 3 or 4 years. Because Enrique is one of those guys where I was never too sure, because he won a treble. We cannot argue someone that won a treble. It's like, he won a treble. But when he took a lot of treble, I know he did some things tactically, but man, that was just like MSN. Like when you have that front three at the peak of powers where they were at that time, like what formation are you doing? Just be defensive, prevent transition, and just hit them. Like those three at their peak that time, they could figure out anything, throw anything at them. What defensive scheme are you giving MSN? Neymar, Suarez, and Messi at their peak. Throw everything, low block, whatever, they'll break your low block. High line, they'll destroy it. What are you going to do to them? Man, Mark, Messi will destroy you. You want to mark Messi? 2-3 people. He will just go around like so. I always remember when I used to watch them then, like, is anybody going to beat these guys? When 3 of them were at their peak in that run, it looked inevitable. Like, nobody's beating these people. Like, this is ridiculous. Because if you try to mark anybody, Suarez can just, on his own, just bang 40 yards. And you're like, okay, what am I going to do with this? If you have a striker that's scoring free kick, so Neymar can score free kick, Messi can score free kick. Okay, so what are we doing here? Let's just go home because like these guys can do whatever they want on the pitch, and you can't stop them at the time. So let's go to Denmark. Let's go to Dangerous Danes and Tata. We're not here for you. You've been quiet. And so let me start and say Denmark. You know when they say a team that's fighting for a cause that is bigger than like football. We heard that from other commentators. Are probably one of the most dangerous teams. But what happened to Eriksen looks like, I mean, they were already a very good team, but it looks like that Eriksen thing like took them to like the next level. How determined they are, that Danish team. Like, people like Christensen has continued from where it started from Chelsea, even though he used to get a lot of slander. I remember during Lampard regime, I just coughed a little bit. I remember the slander some people were giving Christensen at the time. I just coughed. I just had a slide.
Is it on the agenda that they are trying to attend? You saw that finish ourselves.
When Dolberg has made a renaissance, from Ajax Day. So, Itata, talk to us about the Danes. What are your thoughts?
Before I start, Idris, please pay attention to the panel. Next time, come with bulletproof on. I think they're coming for you.
Thank you, brother. I've seen all these.
They're coming for you. They're coming for you. Yeah, Denmark. It's funny because I was on the phone with my brother last night. We were just talking about it. We were talking about the European Cup in 1992. I don't even think they qualified for that European Cup. They stepped in for Yugoslavia. Right?
Yeah.
They stepped in. Yeah. Stepped in for Yugoslavia and
to win the tournament. Sorry to interrupt. Right. They came on the beach. They went with their flip flops and they say, "Hey guys, you want to come? Oh, okay, cool. Let's go come and win the tournament."
Yeah,
that's what happened.
And that was it. It's been a similar energy. It's almost an identical story. The only difference is then it was Yugoslavia. Now it's Eriksen. They're a very good footballing side. Like Daniel said, I don't think people really pay attention to it. They are creating chances, they're scoring goals, and they're playing well. There is nothing like inshallah. They're not throwing dices. Everything is intentional. They're a very disciplined team, and of course Mourinho's agent, Højbjerg. See, he's playing like his life depends on it.
He has 3 assists in this tournament.
Yeah, they're playing one of the best football at the Euros right now, undisputed. Mm-hmm. They're playing everything they're doing is intentional, and this is beyond emotions and Eriksen.
Yes.
So now, if you add the Eriksen factor, it's almost like I actually think they're going to beat England. I honestly think they're going to beat England. I think they're going to beat England, and they have that number 12. What's his name? Who is
Højbjerg?
I call him the Danish Giroud because he's very, very efficient. 2 chances, 2 goals, and he's strong, So if you underrate Denmark, it's going to be a serious issue. I think England should prepare for them like they're preparing for the Brazil 70 team. That's my advice for England. Otherwise they're going to lose that. I actually think they're going to beat England. I think they're that good, and I don't even think it's not by mistake. Everything they do is intentional.
Okay.
And they also have a very good goalkeeper, which is a plus in any international tournament. They have a very good goalkeeper. So I think Denmark are here to stay. Yeah. I think Denmark are here to stay, and I actually think they're going to beat England.
If you see, I made a post yesterday about I got tired of these British commentators. when they were analyzing the game after the match, they were like, "Ah, it's Denmark." Ferdinand like, "Oh, dispatch them." I was like, "Wow." There is a thin line between confidence and arrogance. If you look at that Danish team, they have experience at the highest level of club competition. Their goalkeeper is the son of the best goalkeeper in the world ever, arguably, and he's very good. Kia, Christensen, the other one, Vestergaard. They are Premier top level defenders. The midfield, Holberg, Delaney. Delaney plays for Borussia Dortmund, and then this Damsgaard. That guy is a baller. I don't know if you guys have watched him. That guy is good. Yeah. And then they have arguably the player of the tournament, Melee, the left wing back, number 5. And then they have Striger on the right. Then the attack is even if Dolberg doesn't start, you have this Poulsen guy from and then you have exactly. So
you have great weights, guys everywhere.
Exactly, very energetic. I didn't rate him, but he has done very well this tournament, to be fair. So I think they are very dangerous. I think the English game is going to be very difficult because England basically is very hard to beat. Two defensive midfielder. It might match the Danish system and play 3 at the back, and then you have basically 7 people defending. So they want to hope on Kane, Sterling, and maybe whoever is on the right. I don't know. I don't really care. I hope they beat England though. I kind of want England to win, but the media is not going to let me sleep. If I turn on BBC, it's our best team ever. They've won the league. It's just very annoying. If you put into contrast, I'm sorry, I'm going to digress a bit. If Pedri was an English footballer, they would have called him the coming of whoever. Would have heard everything about Pedri. The hyping of their players is just very ridiculous. But anyway,
you haven't heard what they're calling Calvin Phillips, right?
No, I haven't heard that one.
N'Golo Kante of I was like, bro.
Goodness, man.
First game.
Anyway, I think the Danes are very efficient, and I rate their coach. If you're watching the game against Wales, the first 15 minutes, Ramsey and Bale was trying to do that rubbish they were doing against Turkey. Immediately he put Eriksen in the midfield. Bale disappeared. EJ, sorry, but your boy was just running around the midfield, chasing ghosts. He was lost. They completely outplayed them. So I really rate that coach. And it's times like this that you see what a coach can actually do. It's where a coach earns their money. And I've seen him a couple of times. He has really delivered. That's why I don't rate this guy, this Roberto Martinez guy. When they needed him to actually do stuff, he didn't do anything. He was just there, just hoping things happen. So I rate the Danes a lot. And I actually think they have an outside chance to win the competition if they beat England. So, yeah.
I don't know, brought up
you guys actually miss it. You know, Martinez is actually great at something. When the camera is right on him, he can adjust his suit. I can give him credit for that.
EJ, you had something to say.
I have a comment. I just want to say this. I'll preface everything I say by saying this. I get it. I don't live in England or any of their other 3 countries in their country. Look, you guys will be okay if the media is annoying. I've lived through a summer where I wanted to hear, nothing from Chelsea fans, which is why I wish that they wouldn't win anything. But it did not work. And that's the same thing I'm going to say to all you people that, I like England. I watch Premier League week in, week out for the last 20 years. I cannot support all the players that we see every weekend to win a simple tournament. I don't understand it. Like, I don't know any of these other players in these other countries. I
do want them to win. I
get it, but you don't want to. You want to hear, right? That's what
exactly.
I want to hear. But you won't hear. You won't hear them.
Can I be honest? Why I really don't want them to win, and it is the British elitism. There's something. Was it Onome just talked about how they dismissed Denmark? That there's a thin line between arrogance and confidence. The British will hype up anything that pertains to them and consume the. It's just like the Americans consume
Americans
the
are like that.
entire
So I'm
airway.
used to it.
So
I don't know
me,
if Denmark, do they do that in their country? We don't know. We don't follow their news. We
no,
don't know
but
what
no,
they're
but
saying.
Denmark does not go to other countries to spread democracy and life. These guys are spreading shit. So me, I don't want them to disturb my inner peace. They are
Okay, don't worry.
They are
You see how my peace was disturbed for like a
So
few weeks.
exactly.
That's what's gonna happen.
Mystery was making you happy. My sisters, I like you, Rich. The way you are paid, I'm happy.
But no. Look, Denmark, I think Denmark has played well. They lost their first two games. The first game I thought was a fluke that they lost. We lost by a goal to Finland. The second game was pretty. That was a good game by Belgium. They came back and totally destroyed us. So I didn't think they were coming out.
A good game by De Bruyne,
KDB.
Hazard, and Lukaku.
Yeah, right. It was
Not
individual
the
effort.
guy.
Because until he put them in, yes, they weren't doing anything. The third game is when they went mad and then won that game, and that's how they snuck in. This is why I say snuck in into the next round. Even though it was a convincing win, they thumped whatever team they played. I believe it was Slovakia. Was it?
Russia.
I don't remember. Russia. Was
Russia.
it? Was Russia?
Russia.
4-2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Anyway, yeah, they won that game convincingly, went to the next round, and murdered my boy. I actually watched that game, my boy and his team. And you're right, the first 15 minutes, I thought that Wales were gonna like pull through or even score a goal, and then boom, it was over after that. And then last 2 minutes of the game, they just scored a couple more goals. Yes. So Denmark, you can't write them off, but I will write them off in this instance because I definitely think they've been riding an Eriksen wave. And you guys, you understand, I see cardiac arrest all the time in the hospital. It's not a joke what happened. So they were definitely very, very emotionally
Charged.
they're being driven by something else more than what we know. I don't believe they're even a dark horse. Like, you guys know more than me. I don't think they were a dark horse. I think if they got, no one will ever accuse them of having a bad tournament if they lost in the second round, even if they went out the first round. So it's going to stop now. The reason I say that is because that Schmeichel that you guys see is awesome. We know what Schmeichel is. Schmeichel is great, but he can concede some goals, and he will concede some goals. Like, I know that Schmeichel from Leicester. No, he's at risk of.
Okay.
He's going to concede some goals, and those people that know him well,
Definitely not worse. He's definitely not worse than
like than Pickford. That people, I don't know how Pickford has not considered no goal. Yeah, I don't know how he's not considered no goal. That's why I'm keeping short. But that front line,
England defense is very good. The England defense is very good.
See,
England
so the front
defense
line knows. They know Schmeichel well. They know him well. They see him every week. All of them see him. They play him twice a year. They'll get him. They will get him. And those people in the back of Kaya or whatever his name is, Christensen. No.
European champion.
We're running.
That's the Champions League winner.
Oh wait. While the agenda is agending, Christensen is a European champion. Where's that my badge?
Okay, I get it. Fine. But nah.
Can I jump in about Denmark? Okay.
Okay, before you jump in, let me just see a comment from Siamara says, I can only tell Idris and Itata apart by the jersey. You guys are still getting your fan club. Itata Idris fan club is still alive and kicking. Okay, Ola, let's go. Thanks for the comment, Siamara.
Okay.
Ola, let's go.
All right, well, regarding Denmark, I remember France 98, what Idris was mentioning about British media dismissing Denmark. I remember France 98, Nigeria fell into the same trap.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about Brazil.
We made it into the second round against Denmark, and we're already thinking of playing Brazil in the quarterfinals. We're like, Denmark is just Denmark. And what happened? They smashed us 4-1. Smashed it.
I've never
even that one goal
ever.
They just had mercy on us and just let us score one goal, because it could have been 6 or 7 that day, because we're already thinking ahead. Like the English media are thinking ahead of final. We're thinking ahead. I think it's only Denmark. Let's just beat them and go to the quarterfinals. We're thinking of playing Brazil. They destroyed us, and that's Denmark for you. Denmark, they go to tournaments. They don't get disgraced. Denmark don't usually get disgraced in major tournaments. They go there, they show up. They might not win it. But they'll give a good account of themselves. So when you guys are
won't
talking about,
disgrace them. They won't disgrace them. It'll be 1-0.
you say Michael will chop goals. That's Michael will chop goals.
I said
They
can score him. That's my point.
A few
Don't worry,
times.
it won't be 4-0. It'll be 1-0.
Okay, so it's typical British bias. I wouldn't say it's arrogance. Also, maybe they are confident, but I remember Croatia. They interviewed maybe Modric and a couple of Croatian players at the last World Cup, and they said one of their key motivators to beat England in that semi-final was because the way English media wrote them off. Because they were thinking of the final already. Go and look for the quotes. The interviews are there. The Croatian player said this. I think Modric and one other player said it. That was one of their key motivators. It's like basically maybe they printed it and put it on their dressing room wall. And I look at this English media, they're already dismissing us like, oh, they're just going to beat us. So, and that's also a trap they'll fall into against Denmark. If they think Denmark are just going to roll over, they're in for a shock. Like you guys have said, Denmark have played some of the best football in this tournament. They are a very good footballing team. It's not just about the emotion now, not just about the Eriksen thing. They are playing good football. They create, actually, they waste chances. The last game I watched, they could have scored like 5 goals in that match, 5 clear chances. They waste chances. They create good openings, you know. So if England just think Denmark are going to roll over, man, they're going to be surprised. They're going to be surprised. So it's going to be a tight game. I want Denmark to win, but who knows? I don't care who wins. I know Italians are waiting for them in the final, hopefully, to lift the trophy. For me, that's the main thing. I want the Azuris to win. The Azuris have not won a tournament since when?
2006. 2006.
2006. It's about time, man. It's about time. No, they didn't even win that one.
Yeah,
it's the World Cup.
They beat France, 2006.
So it's about time the Azuris win the tournament.
It's been a
It's
long
about
time.
time.
Yeah, well, England hasn't won, like he just said now, since 66.
Since 62. I think it's
They
about
don't
time
deserve
for
it.
them.
They're not a big team. They're not a big team in world football. England are not a big team.
If they win this, they'll become a big team.
They are not a big team, so they don't deserve it. They're not. So they should just
Honestly,
chill
if England wins this, it will be an achievement because I don't think this is the best squad they've had in their history at all. Like people rate them, but no, not at all.
Yeah.
Aside the 60-something is this 70-something team? Which team is this deep in talent?
I think that deep. Like, okay, think about it. Which one? Who? Just on club level, which one of those people have won anything apart from Sterling and Schmeichel? Not Schmeichel. Schmeichel's not in the team. I don't know who have won anything.
Jordan Henderson.
Sorry, I forgot.
but Henderson won't start. Henderson won't start.
Exactly.
Anyway.
He played one game. Did he start the
game? He won't start. No. I can put all my wealth, the little wealth I've gathered from my short life, I can put it that I will get those two, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. There is no changing that. Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. And nothing won't start. It won't start.
I know, but it doesn't matter. He's going to play. He's going to play.
Okay.
Actually, EJ, you're right. None of them have won anything. I kind of thought about it, but maybe I'm just looking at them being talent. Yeah, maybe not.
To be fair, they have the youngest squad. They have the youngest squad at the Euros.
Yeah. No. Ayo, you're right. You're right. When you say that
they have the youngest squad. England has the youngest squad at the Euros.
Yeah.
Foden
of course.
My answer would be quickly that the English team that you can say like probably was their best. It was probably that 98 team, in my opinion.
Yes.
That was a team of winners. That was a team of winners everywhere. The Arsenal boys, the United boys, these are like multiple winners in that team who had won at the highest level. So
Euro 96 was pretty strong. Euro 96 was really strong.
But they always had West Coast.
Any last thoughts about the Danes? We go to our final topic about like golden boots.
One more thing, I'd say they should be careful about those transitions because man, the way those guys move the ball, like their players don't have to break stride. Like look at Dolberg's goal yesterday. Like one time cross outside of the field, like you don't break stride. And then Højbjerg had one ridiculous chance where it seemed like he was just clearing the ball. But like in 2 seconds, Braithwaite was clear on goal, and I was like, no way. Like the way they transition when they get that ball. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they would soak up pressure with England, but like they would, like they are going to be like once they get that ball and start moving, Maguire and Stones, rushing back and all that, like it's going to be a problem. So yeah, people should definitely.
I honestly think.
I actually think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just jump in. I actually think England will soak on the pressure and the Danish team will have possession because England basically relies on Sterling, Kane, and to just counter attack.
Yep.
Rice and Philip don't really contribute too much. They will actually want to counter attack the Danish team, and that's why I feel England are most dangerous, especially Luke Shaw. That guy, my God.
Roberto Carlos.
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. Please pick Roberto Carlos. That's needed now.
Yeah, you have to they have to really take care of that overlap from Shaw. I think Kyle Walker doesn't contribute a lot going forward, but Shaw is really, really dangerous. So Danish team will try in transition to prevent England from doing that. But otherwise, I think they're good.
England are very good at set pieces. I'll just put that out there. That's one thing Denmark have to watch out for. Very good at set pieces.
I disagree. They're not really.
They are. The last World Cup, England scored like maybe half of their goals from set pieces. This tournament, so they scored 4 goals from set pieces.
Just one.
This tournament.
Yeah, just one. Just the one from Maguire. The last
the two corners.
Henderson.
The last game. It was Ukraine. We have proper defenders now.
Hey, Tad.
Okay, so let's do
We
quick
have proper
predictions.
defenders now.
I like this agenda. We are agending the British media. I like
Honestly,
apart from Italy, I think Denmark have been the most complete team to watch.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still think we are not giving them credit enough, and I think England are in for a huge surprise. That's just my personal thoughts.
So final prediction.
I think it's 50-50 though. I think it's 50-50. I think it's a balanced game. I think it's a balanced game. 50-50.
So I did final prediction. I'll start with Nane. Finals. Predict the finals.
For what finals? Oh,
who's getting to finals? Yeah.
I think Italy versus England. I think Italy. But what I think is Italy versus England. But what I wish for is Italy versus Denmark. Yeah, that would be a bumper game. Yeah.
Okay. So
Italy versus England would go. Yeah, Italy England is what will happen. Yeah.
Daniel. Final prediction.
I mean, like the flip side. The flip side. I think Italy Denmark would be the final. Italy England final. I think it'll probably end like 1-1, and then England lose on penalties.
As usual.
With Michael.
Italy England. Yeah, it's Donnarumma versus Pickford.
Yeah.
Come on.
EJ, final prediction.
I predicted England will get to the final before the tournament. I stick by that. That's probably the only thing I'll get correct in this whole thing.
I did so funny enough.
I'm sorry?
I did also. I was there.
Oh, good. You are going to defend me on my status when people were accusing me. All sorts of things people said about me.
EJ, they said you bear your cross.
But I think Italy will get there. Say that again.
I always have to be careful about my defending online because I've slated a lot of people, so a lot of people are waiting for me. So I always play the long game. I always play the long game online.
That's wonderful.
I sit on the fence. So I just follow that perception. That's what I do. That's my strategy. I sit on the fence. Then I come out there and I'm like, yes, I told you so. I didn't tell anybody. I told you so, guys. That's my strategy.
We're not picking the winners, right? We're just picking the finalists.
Yeah, just the finals.
Yes,
okay,
finalists. Just finalists. Italy, then. Okay. Idris.
I'm going with Italy, Denmark, because I strongly believe, and I know we've agreed with you, call Denmark a small team, but even the way the last Danish team that won it got to the finals, and how these guys had to win their last game to get this far, Guys, it's almost like Chelsea again. The stars are written. These guys are going to the final. These guys are going to the final. I'm sorry, EJ. I'm just, the more we've been talking, because I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe Denmark, small team. But even now that we've talked and I've learned from all of you, they are getting to the finals.
I see that Denmark near that final.
Like, they are getting to that finals. Because you're just so big. Spirit's world cannot stop. This one is going.
Okay. Itata. Final prediction. Who's getting finals?
Denmark will be in the final, and the other team, I would think, I'm not thinking. These guys are making the final, man.
I was like,
Forza.
Okay.
Forza.
Okay. You get a sound effect for that. Okay. Ola, final prediction. Finals.
No, I really want Denmark there, but I think England will do it. I think England, they're building momentum at the right time. They seem to be on a roll now, and they are playing that semi-final at Wembley. So that's a factor.
Are they?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
semi-final
Wembley.
and the final is at
I thought they
Wembley.
moved
Wembley.
They are playing at Wembley. Yeah,
Is that Wembley?
they're playing at Wembley. So that's
So
a big
basically, the
factor.
trophy will
They are
already
going
be
to have
at
like,
home.
yeah, they have like, and the stadium is going to be more filled up. They are going to allow more seats and more fans in. So there'll be like 50,000, I think, English people there. That's a big factor. Denmark will give them a good fight. But I think England will sneak it and get to the final. But it doesn't matter because the Italians will be waiting there for them. So that's it. Italy, England, final.
Ola, there will be more people in the stadium to cry.
You say Italy, England? Ola, you say Italy, England?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Italy, England, yeah.
Ola, there'll be more people in the stadium to cry premium tears. Don't worry.
hopefully, but I just think but I just think England will sneak it because England, their momentum is great now and they are playing at home against Denmark.
Who's got more momentum, England or Denmark? Think about it though.
Yeah, Denmark also have momentum, but Denmark have to travel now. They have to travel all the way to England to come and play in England.
Okay.
You know, it's a big factor. Home advantage is a big factor on a big stage.
But
It is.
don't you even think that?
Go on.
Don't
go
you
on,
think
Itata.
England playing at home is
Pressure.
added pressure? A complete row of pressmen literally writing on the sidelines that Sterling is better than Pele and Maradona combined.
Oh
You
no,
know,
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
I think they're in for it.
Now
Wait
that's
till
why
the-
they need to go away for that Ukraine game, in my opinion.
There you go.
I think Southgate. This is one of the things I give Southgate credit for. Southgate has helped them manage that pressure. If you read about stories from the English camp, he has managed to diffuse that kind of pressure on them. He has managed to. He lets them have all these like extra curricular activities. I'm not talking about the ones that some people go and do in the hotel with women. No, I mean like maybe table tennis. I mean extracurricular activities that just let them calm their minds to release the tension. He has. They all talk about it. The spirit in the camp. It's different from. I was talking about their best squad in 1998. Those Gerrard era, Scholes era, Lampard era. There was too much tension even within the players themselves because all this club rivalry. Southgate has managed to minimize that. So I think that's one of the things I give him credit for, and that's why I don't think the pressure will get to them for this semi-final. Because it's Denmark. If they're playing a bigger, stronger team, maybe they might fumble it. But because it's Denmark are not a small team, but in their mind, they will think like, okay, we can undo Denmark. You know, this is not France. This is not Italy in the semi-final. This is Denmark in the semi-final. So the pressure might not be as much. So I think they'll sneak it. I don't want them to, but I just think that's what will happen.
One thing going for them is that they are very hard to beat. Those two defensive midfielders, and then if it's three at the back, they always have 4 or 5 people at the back.
Yeah.
And then the talent of Sterling, Kane, and maybe this other United boy, Man United boy, what's his name? Sancho. Yeah, might just be they're just really good. Yeah. Yeah. So EJ is looking out for that one, I'm sure. Anyway, the new adoptee.
Papers are written.
So yeah.
No, you're not coming here, Sancho. Nah, we're not doing that. I will personally be deleting your comments. If I see anything, I don't something delete. I don't delete. That's my. No, we're not doing that. This is Sancho. You know this. For me, Sancho is very personal. I take Sancho very. That's my personal pet project. The last 3 years.
Talking about deleting comments. Did Francis Anosike say England is winning? So as soon as I saw that, I was very more confident.
I think Francis said something in the group that eliminated all the teams. So I think we're good. We're back at zero. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, he said something. I can't remember too. Let's take the comments from Tata. It looks like your fan club is still alive and kicking. Says they're dramatic. You know, it is your selection. Last comment to end royal tears for England.
Royal tears. See, he's a real G, man.
This camera is
I'm telling you, man.
God.
Roma Amara is a G. Roma is a G, man. Yeah.
Golden boot winner. Let's do golden boot winner. Okay, I think there's one more comment. Yeah, it's EJ. You're being one. Stay away. You know, stay away from
I just have 3 criteria. Everybody knows I have 3 criteria, and he checks all 3. Sorry.
What
All I need is I'm waiting for him to just come through.
Can you tell us this criteria? We're interested.
Please tell us.
The people want to know. The people want to know.
I think I remember. He has to be younger than her.
Frozen. EJ's frozen. Oh no!
He's not frozen. Anamaya tell us.
No, when she comes back, I think they have to be younger than her or something. They have to. They have some nice hair, really nice hair.
Yeah,
very nice hair. I think the hair, and then I think there's one more thing which I don't remember. I think you mentioned it in the. There's one. I think that they have to be black or
mixed, maybe
mixed race. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Ramsey wouldn't count.
This sounds personal. That's okay. This sounds very personal, you know.
No, she actually posted it in the forum. She actually has posted it once in the forum.
I've never seen it before.
Okay. So criteria to do what? I'm missing out.
For her to stand.
For her to.
Light skin
boys.
As confirmed.
So this is criteria that EJ uses to adopt players. Itata. So she has a certain criteria she uses to adopt players. So after it's public knowledge, okay, I take that. I didn't know this was public knowledge. Okay. It's just criteria for adoption. While we wait for EJ, let's go into golden boots now. And this one I brought this up because I was thinking, whoa, actually golden boots is kind of weird this time. And it's weird because we have 2 people on five goals already. EJ, are you back? Still frozen. Oh, okay. You're back now. You're back.
Okay.
EJ, your criteria left you petrified. You left like this.
I think my connection is more.
Okay, you're back. Okay. EJ, did you hear that?
Hello.
Okay.
EJ, can you hear us?
Better now. I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So we're talking about your criteria, you know. Oh Lord, jump on me.
God.
Okay, golden boot winner. And I say this because we already have 2.5 goals. Patrick Schick, CR7, and I am thinking Harry Kane could easily, like we know Harry Kane is already on the tier.
Daniel called it. I think Harry Kane is going to take it. Daniel called it before the competition started. I think Harry Kane will take it.
He could have had a hat trick yesterday, you know.
Yeah, I think it was Andy. I think it was Andy going out. I saw it on his face. He wanted to stay on and like get more goals. You can see it on his face. It's like, damn, I want to be part of a winning team. So, who do you think? Let's just go around quickly. Who do you think will end up being golden boot?
That's still okay.
You okay?
I think it will be too much to climb. 2 goals against Denmark and Italy in the semi-final. I think it will stay with either Patrick Schick or
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yeah. I think 2 more goals. It will be too tight. By the way, I was just going to comment.
Own goal is the highest goal scorer. What are we saying? Own goal is the golden boot winner. Own goal. OG.
Own goal. Yeah, own goal. Yeah.
Has got nine
Is
or
it 10?
10
Is
goals
it
already.
10 already?
10, 10
Yeah.
goals, 10 own goals.
I was just
Your
going
own
to say
goals.
that none of
Who
us
is
is
this?
giving Spain a chance. None of us is giving Spain a chance.
Who
That is very weird.
We spoke about Spain now.
Yeah, but it's still.
But you guys
tournament.
dissected it now.
Yeah,
You
but
guys
even
dissected
at that, still not giving Spain a chance. That is very, very big confidence for in Italy.
Bro,
Like none of us.
Morata is not going to. He's not going to. He's not going
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Stop kidding ourselves.
I'm
Let's
just
not
putting
do
it
that.
out there, so I can be like Ayo and say I told you guys so. None of you guys are giving Spain a chance.
You need to find your, see my tactic works for me. I know how to find those lines. Find your own tactic.
I'm seeing politicians.
Find your own tactic. My tactic works for me. It has worked for me for almost 10 years, please. Find your own. So I guess
I digress.
You digress. Okay. Tata, who do you think is going to end up? You think I can too?
Yeah, I'm leaning. I picked Lukaku, but he's out. I think Harry Kane takes it. He's going to get another goal. I know that.
He needs 3 though. He needs 3 to be able to be the winner, right? That's the problem. He needs 3.
I thought you said it's joint 5.
No,
I'm not
no.
doing that.
Joint, 2 players are joint. It's Patrick Schick and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They have
Kane has
5.
3 goals.
Kane has 3.
Oh no. Then
But
I think it's going to be joint. I don't. If England gets to the final, he wins the Golden Boot. But if England are knocked out, he's not winning it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you think
If he gets on 5, how would they decide who wins it? I would think the people who play
use
best
assist.
win it.
Assist.
Oh, assist.
And that way, Schick wins it.
Okay.
Oh, how many assists does he have?
How many assists
I think he has
does
one.
Schick
I
have?
think he has 1.
Yeah, but Ronaldo also has an assist. Ronaldo had an assist.
Ronaldo
Yeah,
assist.
Yeah, it looks like Ronaldo's on top right now.
Ronaldo has an assist.
Yeah, he has 1. Ronaldo has 1. So yeah, he could actually win it. Jota's goal.
I guess Ronaldo will be sitting beside Adebayo's mother till the competition ends.
Good. So who's your golden ball? Who has been your golden ball? Or you still can't decide?
Patrick Schick for me. Patrick Schick for me.
Golden ball is the best player, right?
Yeah. Who has been your best player tournament? You say Schick? Anybody?
This Danish guy, the left wing back, Mele from that guy. I want him to be signed by Arsenal. That guy is a baller.
Be careful of drawing permanent conclusions from tournament. I always tell people this thing. Very, very careful. Tournament football. Renato Sanchez.
If you see a footballer, you know a footballer.
Milan Barosh. Thank you. I was going to go there too. Yeah.
No. This Mele guy is a good footballer.
Poborski. Exactly. United 6. You know, so
DJ,
exactly.
In Valencia.
In Valencia. Many. I have many examples of tournament very long conclusions. Marcos, that is probably the most perfect example. Marcos Rojo. He looked so good. He came to that and all is a slaughterer. That's all he does. When Marcos
but we can safely say a lot of people go to United and just flunk.
Yeah.
I mean, your club is a flunking club. The pie, look at him balling anyhow. If I'm afraid
an Arsenal fan talking about this.
I was waiting for that.
I have to change my hat around that comment. An Arsenal fan?
An Arsenal fan.
Please. You guys are the poster boys and girls of like flunking. What? Nicola Pepe. You remember Pepe? Have you forgotten with that guy?
Pepe is not a fluke. Come on. You cannot say Pepe is a fluke. No, far from it.
He finished second in
Pepe is a good
best player.
No. I'm not having that. Pepe is a decent footballer.
One assist in like almost 70 league games. Please don't tell me that.
No.
70 league games. He was
One
like,
He
assist,
has 8
bro.
assists this
How many
season.
goals has he scored? He's scored a lot of goals, especially
He
this
has,
season.
he
Oh,
has 20 something
Garbage.
between goals and assists this season.
garbage
Pepe scored when the season was a foregone conclusion. Everybody was
Exactly. It doesn't
scoring.
matter.
Everybody was scoring.
Go and tell Ronaldo all the tap-ins he's scoring after their winning
Anthony
5-0.
Elanga had 2 goals in 3 games. A reserve player.
Yeah.
Everybody was scoring.
Garbage minutes, man. If the game is over, bring your
It
bench.
was
Don't bring garbage
a
minutes.
foregone
We don't count
conclusion.
garbage minutes goals, please. When the
Everybody
season
keeps
was in
scoring.
the line, and Arsenal was
These
going to
things-
get
these-
relegated, Pepe was
These
nowhere to
things
be
you
found.
guys do is not fair. EJ, how do you even cope with these guys just slandering the club anyhow?
So they
How
don't
do you
stand
even
the
cope?
national when I'm on.
And you just
You
keep
can-
coming back and coming back. I'm not even looking forward to the next time. I'll come back again. How many?
You know, you guys are annoying. You know, deep down, that you deserve half the stuff that's thrown at you. Deep down. Because when you guys are Liverpool, at least Liverpool, I can understand that they haven't won. When you guys, the fact that you are not on the same level with Chelsea, and we were in the finals, and you were having problems internally that we were there. That was when
Uncle, I don't understand. I should be happy.
You want us to be happy for you?
I don't
I'm so
understand.
confused.
How does that work? I should be happy Chelsea is in the final. What? Come on, man. If I was
twice this season, come we'll see again next season. Stop this. Please. Stop it. I don't know how City allowed you guys to beat them 3 times. Why
that
do
game
you
pain
remind
me,
me
I
about that?
swear to God, that game touched my flesh. That game pained me. You think EJ was pained? I was pained for days. I was pained. Pep, call my
Okay, on
hand.
me. Have you finished remonstrating with yourselves?
I
Because
have.
as a Liverpool fan and fan of the most successful club in England, I can't relate to all these shenanigans you guys are doing. I can't relate. So let me just talk about golden boots. So all you guys can keep doing your handbags, beating yourselves with handbags. As a fan of Liverpool, I don't have anything to say about all your Pepes and your Karel Poboskis and all that. I don't have time. Golden boot winner, CR7. CR7. Ayo is gone. Oh, what's he showing us?
I mean,
Point.
I'm sure the brackets. This is the current bracket. You know, I said we're going to put some people to shame. There's somebody there who was thinking that I know how to predict. You know, he's on top from the bottom. It's just his predictions have been very interesting. So this is current standing right now. You know, neck and neck. It's not a surprise that it's 2 United guys, you know, neck and neck. Well, to be honest, the whole bracket is all United fans. So I just thought about that again. Like,
Celebrate everything. Celebrate everything. Another trophy for United. Fantastic.
No, it's going to change. The Star Boy is here. Everything's going to change now. So this is the current standing. Me.
I hope this guy doesn't
Kwame.
flop for you. Ayo. I hope this Sancho guy doesn't flop for you. Or else people are coming for you.
It's not possible.
Solskjaer will become a good coach now. Now he has Sancho. He will become a very good coach.
If he flops, you know my escape route now. I'm coming for Solskjaer's neck. In full effect. People think of that comment. What I'm going to do, people, United fans will be shocked. You know, I'm coming for Solskjaer's neck. If Sancho doesn't perform, I'm coming for Solskjaer's neck. Week in, week out, front post. You guys just watch. You see what I'm going to do. If Sancho doesn't perform, man, Solskjaer is in trouble, man. He's in trouble. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not listening to anything anymore. This is with the talent we have. I'm not listening to that anymore. No more. No more excuse. EJ, who do you think is going to be golden? Let's wrap up with that.
Your options, I think, out of the people you've mentioned, I pick Raheem Sterling, who is like an outside chance. I think he has an outside chance in getting the golden boot, and I will go with him. I think he has 2 more games to play because they will go through here and then go through to the finals. So I think there's time for him to score. It may be a tie. I don't see anyone scoring more than 5. So it may be like 3 people get on 5. Maybe Harry Kane too. That's it.
Who has been your best player of the tournament?
It'll be him.
I'm too. Okay.
It'll be unexpected, but I think so far he's the best player in England, coming out from England. Maybe not the best player so far, but then they usually pick from the people that win. They're supposed to. Like World Cup when they chose Modric, which I thought was a scam. But yeah,
Scam.
they,
They didn't want to,
when they
they didn't want to give Pogba. You know, they didn't want to
I
give
know
Pogba.
it's so weird.
Pogba should have
Anyway,
been player of that tournament, but I digress. I've said this several times. He should have been player of 2018 tournament, but it doesn't fit the narrative to give Pogba. You know, it doesn't fit the narrative because Kante is there now, like they say. Kante makes everybody better. Kante makes it.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you
I
really
think
feel.
you have more anti-Kante
He does.
agenda than I do.
He does.
Everyone looks at me, they act like I hate Kante. I've never said that.
No. Actually, I don't have any agenda. I'm just very objective.
Yeah.
There was a time he
Yeah.
and me and Dad were talking about this yesterday. Like nobody, like he said, you know what? He said, I'm going to be honest. Nobody wants to talk about it. Kante did not play well in this tournament, but it doesn't fit the agenda. Let's not talk. Everybody's focused. And it's the truth. Kante did not play well in this tournament. Let's be honest.
No,
Kante
I
was
disagree
bad.
though. Kante played very well. I think Kante played very well.
This tournament,
Especially, yeah. I think so.
this
I
tournament.
really think so. Yeah.
Okay, let's go around.
Maybe one game.
The only game he didn't play well was the.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was
game.
at his. I don't think it was at his world class level in this tournament. I
No.
don't think Kante was great in this tournament.
Ola, sorry for talking over you. You don't think it was his inhuman level? Let's go back because we rate him.
He didn't play as well as he should, and he didn't play as well as he can. So that's it for me.
He did. But he wasn't. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody is. Nobody's talking about that. You know, nobody's talking about this. You know, so and that's the thing that Kante gets. He gets that pass of like, okay, like since apart from the World Cup in 2018, right? Apart from World Cup 2018, up until this Champions League run, half of the season when Tuchel came, that half. Kante was he flickered through being above average to good. He wasn't great, but nobody talked about it. When Chelsea were bombing, like under Sarri and they were getting destroyed, like Lampard, who was taking all the blame? It was every other person but Kante. I'm just like, guys, I don't see Kante being overrun in midfield here. People are driving past him.
But to be fair to Kante, Lampard was playing him as an attacking midfielder or something like that.
Yeah.
And he actually had an interview on BBC where he was saying Kante is so good, you can play almost playing him as a defensive midfielder is doing him injustice because he can actually contribute in different aspects of the game. I kind of agree with that, but then that's not the strongest.
Tuchel says the exact same. In fact, Tuchel's words are playing Kante as a CDM is clipping his wings. We need to let him loose to do his stuff. The difference with Tuchel and Lampard is Tuchel is more experienced, so he deploys him in breakups. That was why, like the second half, he was back to his inhuman level. So while we're agending on Kante, my is we rate him based on what we see him do, but what we see him do is a freak level stuff. It's not normal. But when you look at him at the average of Verratti, Jorginho, he's killing it. He killed it in this tournament at that level. It's just we expect more. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I disagree. Please. It's not.
I think the other. No, yeah, I agree with Ayo. Kante didn't. He wasn't at that level. He wasn't at that level this tournament.
Yeah, no.
And I mean,
this is hard though because I think Kante. I watched a lot of all France games. I think Kante and Pogba were very good. They were very good.
Thank you.
They were
Pogba
very
was
good.
better. Pogba was way better.
They're doing two different things though.
Exactly. They're doing two different things.
I'm judging them against their level. I'm judging them against their club level. Okay, Idris, you're saying at Kante's level for Chelsea. Yeah, we see what Kante produces for Chelsea, but he didn't produce that level at this tournament. So when I say Pogba was better, I'm saying Pogba's level for United, Pogba exceeded that level. It was like, for me, it was even the French player of the tournament.
But that's not fair. That's not a fair argument.
You're making my point.
That's not a fair argument because Pogba is shit in United.
Exactly.
It's not shit in United. It's not shit in United. Come on.
Of course, saying he's shit is pushing it. It's very average. It's mostly average.
It's not even average in United. I don't agree with that. It's not average in United.
It's average. At least compared to what he has done in this tournament, I think he blew us away. And I really like Pogba.
Pogba is good at United. He's inconsistent, but he's not shit. He's not average.
Sorry, Ayo, make this agenda topic. Pogba agenda topic. We'll go and debate it after Euros.
You know what? Actually, Actually, Pogba is my player of the tournament. I don't know if it is outrageous. Pogba is actually my player of the tournament. I picked Sheik because he's gone this far. But I think Pogba I've told everyone, Pogba is the player of my player of the tournament. Hands down.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. This tournament. It was fantastic.
Okay.
But don't let them say that Liverpool fan is praising United player just like that. But I have to be objective.
Yeah.
I have to be objective. Even as a Liverpool fan, the people that are dissing Pogba, especially the anti-Pogba crowd who are blaming him for France exit, it's a disgrace for them. It's a disgrace for people to be pointing at Pogba for France exit because they were 3-1 up. Nobody's talking about their defense that allowed those people to go to 3-2, and now you're telling me Pogba is the one that caused it because he lost the ball in midfield. And there were 6 players.
Don't let Ike hear you. If Ike hear you,
I know. That's why I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there that it's a disgrace for people to say Pogba is the reason they went out. I can't agree with that.
That's outrageous.
Pogba is literally the Obama of football. You know where everything Obama was at fault for. In football, Denmark could be playing Sweden. Pogba is the fault for whatever result comes out of that. It's ridiculous.
Kante and Pogba complemented each other. Some of us just have conflicting interests. Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
That is a Facebook deal. You can't hear us. Well, I think this was fun. We'll do one, of course, before the final. Maybe Thursday. The final is next week Sunday, I think. We'll do one maybe on Thursday. We convene. At that time, we can look at things like maybe player tournaments, predictions for the final, how that's going to go. If you're joining this, like, share, subscribe. Our email address is there. Everyone, thanks for coming. Onome, after like a couple of years, thank you for coming.
That's fine. It was fun.
Idris,
Same here.
Tata, Ola, EJ. Maybe the next SOS will send out for you to get you to come on again. Hopefully, we can get to you.
I'm not coming here this podcast.
Is that what? Say that again.
If England don't come through, I'm not coming here this podcast.
Everyone, thank you for joining us, and we are out.
Cool.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.